Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reggie.barcena. Today I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup look. This makeup look is very cat eye slash fox eye inspired. As you can see, I already did my eyelash makeup look and check that out. That's in my previous video. So right now I'm going to get started with the makeup look. To start off, we're going to be using my foundation, and this is a new foundation that I just started using. It's by Milani, and it's the Conceal and Perfect. This is in the shade 6 in Sand Beige. So we're going to use it. I have this little palette here from Anastasia. It was from one of their lip products. It was like in a little pack. My godmother actually got it for me, so I'm gonna put a few pumps there. This is what I'm using. You wanna make sure to wash your face before you apply any foundation or concealer or anything like that on your face, because you wanna make sure that you have a clean canvas. So I applied it all over my face, and the sponge that I'm going to be using is this Real Techniques. It's very similar to the Beauty Blender, but the Beauty Blender can be quite pricey sometimes. So I didn't really put much product here. That's why you can kind of see it's kind of bare there. That's because I'm going to be putting concealer, because I didn't want to put foundation and then concealer on top of that, because it's going to get very cakey real fast. The concealer that I'm going to be using is from LA Girl, and it's the Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige. I love this because I love the applicator, but sometimes it like shoots out at you. Use my beauty blender. It's not a beauty blender, but it's a dupe for the beauty blender. The powder that I love using is the Coty Airspun, the translucent extra coverage. I've been using this. My granny has been using this, and I miss you, Granny, so if you're watching this, I hope you love the shout out. She's been using this for a long time. I've seen Patrick Starr use it, other makeup gurus. Patrick Starr was the one that actually got me into this, so that's why I started using it, and I love it. The only thing about this is that it smells like an old lady. That's the only thing. It's very like rosy. I don't know how to explain. It just smells like a grandma. That's what it smells like. I have this little powder puff right here, and I'm going to set my under eye. Now we're going to focus on that little tiny spot that I have here. I'm going to apply a little bit of foundation because that was the color that I used. And I'm going to be using the Morphe by Jaclyn Hill JH42. Gonna stipple it with this brush. It doesn't even have a number. I got it like a while back. I'm just stippling it on. I'm going to be using this fluffy brush. It's by Wet n Wild. I got it a while back. It doesn't have a number on it, but I'm going to be using this to start with my base. And I love using bronzers for my eyes because they're just more natural looking to the eye, and that's what I love, because we're doing like a natural soft glam fox eye look. So I'm going to be using the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and mine's kind of like fucked up and broken, but it still works. I'm going to tap that off, and we're going to blend this everywhere on the lid, just to give it some definition and some color. So you're just warming your lid just to give it a little more definition so it doesn't look like your foundation. Now I'm going to dust off the excess powder underneath my eye, and I'm going to be using this e.l.f. small tapered brush. I'm going to use this other e.l.f. brush, and it's the Complexion brush, and it's a little bit fluffier. And so what I like to do now is I like to use the same bronzer, and I'm using the Morphe E43. I don't even know if they sell this anymore, so I'm so sorry. Going as close to the lashes as possible on the bottom lash, just so that there is some color there as well. See how there's like definition now? It's very subtle, and that's what we're trying to do. We're doing something very subtle. We're not doing very dramatic eye makeup looks because we want it to look natural. Now to the fun part, which I love doing. This is kind of like creating that fox eye look with a specific brush that I love and enjoy using. And this is from Morphe, and it's the Morphe M160. It's a brush that's kind of flat, but it's also angled. And I like using this because it kind of creates that wing look to the look that we're trying to do. I'm going to be using my old handy dandy trusted bitch that's been with me forever, and I love her so much. It's the Morphe 350 palette. Look at 350, the old Morphe logo. I love her so much. The colors I'm going to be using today are these two brown shades. You can use any brown shade, any dark brown shade you can use, but I like doing two because I love that kind of like gradient effect. So you use that brush, tap it out. So tight line the shit out of this, and trust me, it will give it definition. Now I'm gonna start doing the wing. I don't know how to explain it, but follow the line of your under eye and then go up towards your eyebrow, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna follow this natural line right here and flick that bitch up, just like that. It might be messy at first, but trust me, we're going to fix it. So that was just with the first light brown, and now we're gonna go in with a darker brown, and we're gonna define it more. So that was kind of like our sketch. Now we kind of have it. It's a little rough right now. We're like, what the fuck's going on? But we're going to diffuse it with that same fluffy brush that you used for that bronzer. We're just going to kind of blend that bitch in. We're gonna diffuse that liner because we're going to use it as like that shadow for the lash to kind of uplift, if that makes any sense. Like it kind of brings the lashes a little bit more defined or pulled back. So that was the eye, and now I'm going to contour my face. My favorite brush that I love using is by Kat Von D. It's from the Shade and Light collection, and I'm also going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light contouring palette right here. As you can see, I hit pan on this one. This is one of my favorite shades. It has this gray undertone, which gives that mimic of a shadow, and that's what I love about this particular shade. I don't really like to go ham on the contour because I have a pretty structured face, I'd say. Okay, so that's what I like to do, and then if I want to go extra, I'll go dip in back into the Hoola bronzer, and then use the little mini brush that I came with. And now, I'm going to go back and just diffuse it. And then to make it even sharper, we're going to use the Coty Airspun. Patrick Star loves using a lot of powder. I love using a lot of powder. Powder is amazing. So now we're going to do my eyebrows. What I love using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Dip Brow Pomade is in the shade called Ebony. I'm also going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow brush that you can buy separately. This is the brush that I'm going to be using to fill in my brows. I did my eyebrows. Now I'm going to dust off the excess powder with the Complexion brush. For nose contour, I like to just use this bronzer again. So now I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to be using this highlight from Becca, and it is called Opal. I'm going to be using the shade called Opal. It's super cute. And I'm going to be using the Sigma flat kabuki brush, and I'm just going to be stippling it on the tip of my cheekbones, just like that. And I don't go blinding. Like, some people like fucking go ham on shit. Like, I just like a little sheen to it. And then after, I'm going to be putting on some blush, and this is by Milani, called Romantic Rose in number 1. And then I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild angled brush. Now I'm going to be applying some inner highlight, which is something that I love to do because it's super cute and so simple, but everyone always asks me, they're like, oh, what do you use for your inner corner? So what I'm going to be using for my inner corner is by Physicians Formula, called the Butter Highlighter. This is going to be in the color Champagne. And I'm going to be using the Morphe M508 to just kind of apply it on my inner corner. I'm going to mist my face, and what I'm going to be using is the MAC Prep and Prime. This is my travel size. I love using this just to kind of soak up everything, all my makeup that I've applied on my face, all that powder, all the fucking foundation, everything. We're gonna lock that bitch in place. And to finally finish off the whole entire look is my lip. I am going to be using the Milani lipstick in the shade Teddy Bear number 29. I use this all the time. Look how much I've used. I literally just stipple it on my lips. So this is the completed look. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video that I made for you all. This is my everyday makeup look that I enjoyed creating. So please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more content. And if you have any recommendations, please leave a comment down below. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.